Greetings, kindred. Welcome to the New Moon podcast for July. So the new moon will begin in the EDT time zone on the 9th of July at 21:16 and in the GMT time zone at 2:16 on the 10th of July, and the AEDT time zone will be at 11:16 on the 10th of July. So the new moon this month will begin in Gemini in the true lifetime sky, and the moon and sun will both be at 17 degrees. Now Gemini is quite an intellectual sign. You know, it's a sign that doesn't hesitate in asking questions. It's a sign that rules the media. It's a very high-minded sign, very intellectual, very questioning, very much looking for answers. But sometimes it can be over-inquisitive. Do you know what I mean? It can ask the same question time and time again if it's not feeling satisfied with the answers that are coming in. And I think we're seeing this play out in the media at the moment. And you know, this new moon also got two grand kites. One of them is a double. Fortunately, the double kite is more based on spiritual values. The single kite is more based on authoritarian values. And I say that because the single kite has Saturn sitting right on top of the kite. But you know, Saturn is in sextile to both the South Node and the goddess Juno, and to Chiron. So there's people at the moment that are feeling really let down, especially with the moon and sun in opposition to Pluto, which causes all this emotional stuff, all this emotional triggering, especially since our sun and moon are also in square to Chiron. So it's really triggering a lot of wounds, a lot of old wounds. Now, it can be connected to relationships because Gemini is the sign of like relationships. I see it more as sibling relationships. Some people see it more as like, you know, intimate relationships. But I think it can be the combination of the two, because I see Gemini as being two brothers, but two half-brothers that have different ways of thinking, whereas other people see them as twins. But to me, it's just a dual energy. So, you know, there is a lot of clarity coming in, but people may be looking for answers externally. That's what I'm feeling. They're looking for confirmation externally, but are very disappointed at, you know, the answers they're being given, because their instincts are telling them one thing, or their intuition is telling them one thing, but the status quo or the narrative is telling them another. So, you know, we've always spoken about this awakening, and I have said time and time again, it happens in bouts. And I feel this particular awakening is dragging on from the solar and lunar eclipses that happen in May and June. So there's, you know, still all this clarity, there's still all this getting our heads around things. And, you know, with this particular kite with Saturn on top, I mean, Saturn is actually in opposition to Mars and Venus. Excuse my phone going off in the background. And Mars and Venus are both stationed in the sign of Cancer right now. So Mars in Cancer makes them a little bit more softer, but Cancer's not an easy sign. It has a softness, but it also has a high awareness and will just cut. And, you know, Saturn in opposition to Mars and Venus within this grand kite are both forming this T-square towards Uranus, who's transiting Aries still. And Uranus is transiting Aries at 15 degrees. So the awareness is, as people are coming into this awareness or this intuition, they're kind of also coming into this awareness of karma or the laws around karma. And higher consciousness will tell us that what goes around comes around, and, you know, we reap what we sow. So there is this awareness that we are reaping what we're sowing, or that will come about at some point. And, but again, it's still a very triggering energy. So Mars is very much in his power at the moment. I said that I feel the masculine is about to rise, you know, he's about to come into his divinity as a masculine energy. And, you know, with Mars and Venus conjunct in Cancer, this is telling me that, you know, the masculine and feminine energy are becoming very protective over their families, over their children. But, you know, in whatever way they feel, you know, is right to them as individuals. And I feel this is what we need to break out of. We need to break out of this group thinking, you know, where we have to follow, you know, a standard model. That's the only way I can really think of it. You know, we can't just follow the status quo. I've used that phrase quite a lot over the years. You know, we can't just say, well, you know, blah blah says this, so because of that, that's what we should follow. We've all got to come into our own kind of like conclusions, or find our own answers within ourselves, because it's there. The information is coming in. You know, we just need that awareness. And of course, you know, Saturn in opposition to Mars and Venus is also, you know, both in square to Uranus is in Aries. I mean, this is like people ready to stand up for their rights, and not necessarily in a constructive way, but I do feel that the Cancerian energy will give us that reasoning ability to retreat and make a plan. Make a plan about our futures. Make a plan about where we want to take ourselves and our families on this journey through life. What we want. What kind of security, because Cancer is all about security. What security do we want in place for our families? And everyone's opinion is going to be different on that. And even though we say that we're all one consciousness, you know, we are all feeding into that consciousness, but it's the overruling majority that kind of leads the consciousness into action. And, you know, there is a great awareness coming about, and yeah, it's just a very triggering time at the moment. So over the last few months, I think most of us have been emotionally or physically exhausted with all the energies coming in. So I just feel like we're getting our mojo back a little bit. Although things are still kind of stagnant, things are not really moving forward. I feel things are being portrayed like they're moving forward, but there's no true clarity. There's no true setting for us to feel secure or to feel that we can move forward with either confidence or comfort. Now the second kite I'm seeing here is a double, and it has Neptune at the top of one side, and it has the North Node at the top of the other. And this is why I'm saying this is a very spiritual grand kite going on here. You know, we do have Neptune conjunct Pallas, where we are getting a lot of visions, we're coming into a lot of higher awareness or a higher intuition, recognizing patterns in the world, in our lives, within our own being. And Neptune and the goddess Pallas are in opposition to the goddess Vesta, who's actually now moved into Virgo. So the goddess Vesta in Virgo can be a little bit over analytical, or maybe puts too much focus on statistics and numbers rather than the metaphysical well-being of our mind, body and soul. And Neptune conjunct the goddess Pallas in opposition to the goddess Vesta are both forming a T-square towards Mercury, who's just coming out of post-shadow now. And Mercury and Taurus can be very single-minded. So where Pallas conjunct Neptune wants to open up the thought processes or open up the visualization skills, a lot of us are under this like mental pressure. So there's a lot of mental health issues going on, has been for quite a while. And I do think with everything that's coming out in the media at the moment, it's putting even more pressure on those that are suffering, especially when it comes to depression or just like, you know, the mind wants to expand basically. But Mercury and Taurus, it's very difficult for Taurus to expand their mind because they are kind of like, it's the ball. You know, when they focus on something, it's like, it's just a narrow channel. So I do feel some people are probably suffering headaches at the moment, possibly migraines. But I would say if you're having dreams, I'm having crazy dreams at the moment. Some good, some bad, you know. It really does depend, I suppose, on the energies that are coming in and how they're affecting me. But I'm picking up on the collective energies as well. And I think many people in my line of work are picking up heavily on the energies out there. So definitely protect your aura, even though we're seeing a lot more than what we were seeing initially. I think, you know, the psychic eye is really opening up big time right now. And we may not make sense of some of the visions or dreams that are coming in, especially if we're not kind of on that path and we're new to this. You know, so write them down. Write down your dreams. Write down your thoughts. You know, this is the time to really expand the mind and to open the mind, basically. You know, they're really, you know, this chart is showing me as well that we have got to get into that place of unconditional love. We cannot control what's going on in our environment externally. Right now, we can only control what we ourselves as individuals want to do about it. You know, we all have to find our own answers and find our own way forward. And I definitely feel that should be down to individual choice. And, we've been seeing division going on for a long time. And it's not about choosing sides, it's doing what is right for you. And, and it's hard. It's hard. If you're in one way of thinking, or if your truth is different to somebody you love, if their truth, if there's an opposition in truth between two people that are close, it's very difficult because each is scared for the other. And that's the times we're all scared for each other. Well, those of us that are in our compassion and empathy and have a love, an unconditional love for our beloveds around us, But then there are those of us that are very controlling, in that very controlling energy, and just feel that people should do as we say. And I'm seeing a lot of that in this chart. Don't do as I do, do as I say. And we've been seeing that play out in the media quite a bit lately as well. So, yeah, it's really hard to really do readings or read charts in this day and age, with all what's going on with the censoring, etc. So I apologise if I'm speaking in riddles. I do tend to speak in riddles anyway. My aim isn't to offend anybody. I just want to give you what I'm getting. But this really is about health. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health. I'm seeing that very strongly. Now, I've been doing a detox program with a beautiful lady who runs the My Truth, Your Truth channel. And apart from being a tarot reader, she's an amazing tarot reader, but she's also an amazing herbalist. So I'm going to link her website in the description box below. And I would highly recommend, getting on a detox program or a vitamin program, because diet, again, health, self-nurture, self-empowerment, they're very strongly needed for many right now. And I think, even those of us that are kind of already in a routine with our diets, I feel there needs to be a change there, or an addition or a subtraction of something, because the energies are really changing at the moment. There's this big transformation going on in energy. So the more people that wake up is the more, the earth is transforming. The energy of the earth is transforming, and we're all being affected by it. So some of us may feel a little bit kind of like off key or off planet, a little bit dizzy, or a little bit unenergetic. I go through these phases of when I can't speak straight, but then I suffer with anemia. I have this problem with anemia. It's hereditary in my family. So I'm always having to try and keep on top of my health, my diets, my vitamins. And, I don't always practice what I preach, believe me, because when I go down, I really go down, and it's very sudden and very fast. So, if you do have, either anemia or anything along those lines, I would definitely say keep on top of your health right now. Because with the sun and moon in opposition to Pluto, who's in retrograde, it can be very depleting. When we have high emotions or intense emotions, it depletes our energy. It depletes our self-power. I'll also link up Steve Noble's YouTube channel below as well, because I highly recommend his meditations. They are guided meditations, and So you do need time and space for those. But I'd rather link you to his channels so you can choose your own meditations. He's got quite a collection there. If you don't mind working with the angelic energies, you know, because a lot of the angelic energies have been very much demonized over the years. But, you know, energy is just energy. It's how we use it that counts. We can use it for good, we can use it for bad, you know, but I like to use it for good. So, I shall catch up with you again very soon at the full moon. And as always, I'm sending you peace and much love.